Hello, hello, hello. I'm Andra Annette, and this is CJC Boyd. And in my real life, I am a nurse, a holistic practitioner, a leaky gut, thyroid, and weight loss expert. And I put women in a body they love by helping them get back in touch with their body. It's the easiest way to have people move to outcomes. So, CJ, tell me a little bit about yourself so the audience knows who we are and what we do.
All right, my name is CJC Boyd, and in my real life, I am a woman on a mission to get every single woman after the age of 50 to say fuck yes to everything, to just throw away all the hindrances, the opinions, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and just step into the living the life that they want and just going for whatever it is they want without any regrets.
So this is kind of what we're going to talk about today. So in our professional life as well, because we have more than one profession here going on, we are entrepreneurs online. Absolutely. So um, I told CJ I'd like to talk a little bit about hustle culture because I think we should be worried more about rhythm than routine. So there's this big hustle culture going on, and I think that has most audiences very confused, because everything sell, sell, sell. It used to be we can show up online and talk to people, have regular conversations. But aside from a few girlfriends that I talk to on a regular basis on the line, everybody that comes into my inbox is trying to sell me something. And they have no idea what I do and who I am or anything. Um, and it's not such a social place anymore. It really has become all about business, all about selling, and social selling is okay, but there needs to be some interaction. Everybody's hustling, 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 trying to get money. And then I talk to other friends that are entrepreneurials and they're saying, oh, we're not making any money, sales are down and things like this. And they're concerned. Hey, can you tell your friends I'm doing this? And I'm sure I'll be happy to tell my friends about your about your stuff. Sure. But it's concerning to me because if sales are down, I don't think it's as much as um because it's just a slump. I think it's that if we're in this space and we see it, the audience sees it too. And they're stepping back because maybe some of them have gotten a bad deal, or maybe some of them have gotten a really good deal and got the results they want. So, either it's a one off, that people are selling, and sometimes people don't show up and work that program or do what they want to do, or there's nobody in there teaching them what to do. They're just handing them a program or a product and not telling them how to use it or how to do it. Um, and then every once in a while, people actually get results, and they are either all in and they stay with those people and they keep buying the same person's stuff, right? Because if someone gets you results, you're more likely to continue to be their buyer, right? So how do you see this? Because we do multi-level marketing. CJ and I do sell products, not just services, right? So we do consult other people and teach people how to do things and how to get involved in businesses, how to get leads, how to use tools, things like that, and how to sell products, right? But we also work with people and help them with what we actually do. So we get to see a different perspective, I think. Would you say?
Absolutely. And I think, when I first came into the online space, it was like, oh, build, know, like, and trust, go out, be yourself, share your value, do all these things, provide people with freebies to get them to, bring them in so that they see that they're going to get results for you, build rapport. And then eventually down the road, people will buy from you because they know, like, and trust you. And now it's like one of those things where I think it's been flipped on its head because there are so many opportunities, so many products, so many companies available that people are like, it's just a numbers game. Just go out there and talk to as many people as you can. You don't need to build rapport. You can just go into their DMs. You can just go for the sale, and that has left some of us where used to doing the build rapport to be like, whoa, wait, what the hell? What's going on here? But I think for me, it's a matter of I've tried it both ways. I mean, back in the day, I was knocking on doors out in the field doing, making sales. And that was building the rapport. You can't, you have to make a connection with somebody before they're going to buy from you on the spot in live and in person. And online, it's so easy for people to be charlatans and not be who they really say they are and just go for the kill. Just, come in, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, on to the next. And then you're left sitting there going, what the hell just happened? I don't know what happened. So I think that's a fine line between the two. And for me personally, I'm finding that I have to do a little bit of both. It depends on the person that I'm talking to. It depends on what kind of conversations we've been having and all the things. But I think we really got to come back to people are not going to continue to buy from you unless you're getting results. So you really need to help people feel the experience, to feel the transformation, to actually get tangible results and really put your money where your mouth is and be able to show people that you can do what you say that you're going to do, because there are so many people out there with empty promises, over promising, under delivering. And it's sad that, we have to sit back and think, okay, is this person, trying to sham me, or is this person really going to be legit? And I think you and I both have been in the online space for a long time, that people know what they see is what they get with us. We're not trying to make up things. We come out, we say like it is, and we show up and we do the damn thing. And that's what makes us stand apart from the other people, is that what you see is what you get. We're going to help you get results, and we're going to stick with you till you get the results, where a lot of people don't do that.
So I've been out here just building relationships most of the time. And people think I'm out of my mind. Doesn't Andra sell anything? Because she's just talking and sharing stuff. And people think like, I'm a nut, but there's a method to my madness, right? There really is, because like I'm in health. So everything I do has a healing concept behind it, right? So I think it was yesterday out of nowhere, I I posted something from Beauty Society, right? So I use their products. I've been using them for a really long time. But I'm also one of their people. Like I sell beauty, but you
Right.
don't see me out there saying, "Here, buy this thing," right? So what do they call us? Sponsors? I don't even know. But so I tagged somebody in it, and she says, Andra, are you talking about Beauty Society now? She said, that would be really good. And she said, wow. And I said, well, I'm just because I tagged her in it, because she sells it regularly. That's her whole business. That's how she makes her stuff. So I wanted to let her know, see, hey, I'm still thinking about you over here. But that was just my way of asking her how she's doing, if she's all right, and letting people know that this is a great product, because it had all the scientific knowledge about it, and telling people other ways to get water in, right? Um, you do that in your post too, right? Because you talk about water. You're big with anagmic, right? So
Yep.
um it's just, but it doesn't, but you won't see me post that post every day, and you won't. So when somebody sees me, I did something about the snow collagen from the other company we're in, and three people were in my DMs. What's with this snow collagen stuff you posted today?
That's funny.
Because they never see me post that.
Right.
And there I was with a picture and said snow collagen's in. And they were like, what?
What?
Where does this come from? And they're not things out of left field. It's that time of year where our skin is unusually dry, especially if you have a thyroid condition, right? So I said, well, let me tell them what I'm doing. And I just posted that. So, and people can relate to that, because if anybody out there has a thyroid disease like I do, right, and knows what I do, then they're going to go to, oh, wow, my skin's really dry too. They're going to start thinking like that too. But I'm just sharing my own experiences. I'm not telling people, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. If people want what you have, they will approach you. And I really believe that. But
I
I
do
think
too. I
Huh?
was just gonna say, I think it's hard for people to discern because there are so many people who are looking for shiny objects. They go from one company to the next, to the next, to the next. But we're intentional about what we align with and what we add onto our repertoire because everything is, you know, going toward that whole package of being the healthy body, healthy mind, all the things. And so it was kind of refreshing. I had a coffee chat with a lady today, and she's like, "I'll be honest with you." She goes, "I come to your page, and I'm like, I really love your attitude and your mojo." And she said everything like you tell it like it is, and you don't care what you say. And she goes, "But I couldn't decipher what company you're with." And she goes, "That was so refreshing because I'm so sick and tired of seeing people's products plastered all over their pages and all the things, and it's the hard sell." And I said, kind of made me sit back and go, okay. So here's somebody who's been watching me for like a year and a half who doesn't know exactly what I do, but knows enough about me that they want to find out what I do. So everything that we're putting out there, it's intentional and it's not just like, okay, buy this thing. Oh, whoop, I'm now to the next thing. Buy this thing. No, it's an intentional choice and it's planting the seeds for the whole package intentionally along the way.
And I think people do connect with that. Like I have people that don't like they don't respond. I have some people that responds on my morning posts every day, like clockwork. I can count on them for, hey, good
Yeah.
morning, Andra, right? And then I have people that like I have a subscriber hub. They automatically signed up. I haven't even figured out how to post in it yet. Well, I figured out how to post in it, but I haven't figured out how to set up the page and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give the people that have been with me a long time, just going to start giving them stuff, that they could use.
Right.
I'm going to ask them what they need, right? Um, like $7 for this, $7 for that, just giveaway, especially with Christmas coming, right? I'm just going to start
Right.
doing giveaways, right? Because I'm in a giving mood, right? But the whole thing is like when you're talking about intentional, anything that you and I are involved in, this isn't like a fly by night thing. Like Beauty Society, I've been an advisor of them for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
I've never been in your inbox and said, "Hey, want some
Nope.
collagen? Hey, want some collagen?" And I've had friends say to me, why is your skin shiny, or why do your skin looks really good? What are you using? And then I'll tell them. I don't say, "Here, you want to buy it." If they
Right.
ask me about it, then I'll say, I have a page. You can go and look for yourself. If it interests you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you have to understand that out here in the market, everybody is being sold something on every given day, right? So I just feel like coming at people with that mentality, that hustle culture is hustle culture is actually dead. It's not the way to go. People are burning themselves out, you know. Um, even being in that space of that hustle culture has an impact on my nervous system. I haven't been on social media other than a couple of posts in days. I've totally shut off the social media and I'm working on a project. I said, well, I've been wanting to do this. Let me do this over here and just shut this down because I find that it does impact me seeing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I told you I keep getting these crazy friend requests. People,
I've got
people with
everything.
like three people showing up online. How do you wind it up? They have three friends. How did you wind up in my inbox? What makes you want to be my friend? You want me to be your fourth friend? I
Yeah,
mean, I don't understand, And I have this rule where if you don't have so many friends in common, you don't. I don't even look at you. I don't know what it is, and that's just for safety online. But there are people just randomly friending people to sell things, and whatever works for them. I don't judge people and what they're doing, but I don't want you harassing people that are on my page. Like my profile are people I actually know for a long time.
exactly.
They've been there a while. I don't want to expose them to what you're doing in my inbox.
Exactly. Yep. It's crazy to think, there's so many different ways of doing business. And I mean, the people who are coming into your inbox like that just uses lack and desperation. And I can relate to that because when I first came online, that's exactly who I was. That's how I was like, oh, let's add everybody, anybody who sends me a friend request, let's add that. And it's like, I got scammed a few times. People prey on desperate people, and desperation breeds desperation. But I think that speaks highly too for character and integrity. If you're building a business and you're building your network online, you want to protect those people from anybody else who comes into your space. And so being intentional about who you add as a friend is very important too, because those people are going to see those people on your page, and then like you said, you're going to save them from going into their inbox, because a lot of times people come into your page and like, oh, you have 8,000 followers, I'm just going to go and get into those people's Facebook pages, and it's a scary world. I mean, you got to just really be
My
intentional
friends
about.
are my friends are blocked anyway. So people lock their profile. I don't understand the concept of that, because if you lock in your profile, you have something to hide.
Yep,
You're not coming into my world,
exactly.
right? But I do block my friend list, and that's for their safety, not for mine. If you want to come at me with your best, but
Right.
leave these innocent people alone, because I have been scammed. I have been um hacked online. So I follow Joel Osteen, right?
Hmm.
I like that morning message, that waking with God or whatever. And as luck would have it, he knows Elon Musk, right? And he wants to introduce me to him to sell me some stocks, right?
Oh
Of
my God.
of his new stuff, right? So here you think you're talking Joel Osteen all this time, and all of a sudden it's all
Right.
about the money, right?
Yeah.
So most people would be like flattered by that, and I just said scam, right?
Yeah.
You know, and this is like an approved profile, but anybody can get an approved profile as long as they're willing to pay, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily protect you. It says you're a real person. It doesn't say what kind of person or what
Yeah.
person. It just says you're a real
You're a person.
person, right? So there's some leeway with that a lot of people don't anticipate, right? Because I'm verified, but I am who I am. But there are some people out there that are verifying that, and as long as however they set up their account is really what they're verifying,
Wow.
right? So there's a lot of people online claiming to be Elon Musk, and there's a lot of people online claiming to be Joel Osteen that aren't
Right.
so, right? So this is what I mean by that whole hustle culture. People are intentionally thinking about how can I get them to trust me, and creating these other personas, and this has people afraid in the
Yeah.
market that they don't know what they're doing. So what would be some good advice that we could give to the audience about how to protect themselves, and actually know that you're talking to a legitimate person?
I think, setting up coffee chats, I for one really like the idea of being in a room with people. You can really get to know the person, their vibe, their reality. Like, you could be in a room with somebody, if they're not making eye contact with you, you know that they're not, like, they're kind of shifty, whatever. But like, really have those conversations. And for me, it's being on a Zoom, because I have a lot of people be like, let's do a meet and greet, but let's just do it over Messenger audio. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. If I'm going to meet you, I'm going to meet you face to face so we can have an interaction, because you could be a guy sitting in Nigeria and tell me that you're so and so, and I wouldn't know anything different if I don't see you face to face. Um, I think the other thing is to react with a little bit of caution, to be proactive along the way. Like, if you're accepting friends, go to their profile and check out who their friends are, check how many people they have, check how many posts they have. A lot of times in the online business space, people will be like, oh, I need to build my 5K network, and they're like adding everybody, and you're like, that's a bot, that's a bot, that's a scammer, that's a scammer. And you can just tell by their profile picture, obviously, how many posts they put up. If everybody is sending you a message and they have like 16 photos, but they're all from the same day, you know that that's a brand new Facebook profile that just was created. You probably want to stay away from that. The other thing is to just,
And
do your due.
check their links too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, that's
check their
fine.
links too, because a lot of their links, if you click their links to see what they do, because a lot of people try to hide what they do online, but if you click their links, they don't go anywhere.
They don't go anywhere. Yeah.
They don't go anywhere. Like it's not a real profile on LinkedIn, it's not a real profile on Facebook, or it'll take you to a big group. Like they say they work for this company, and it will take you to a big group that has nothing to do with them.
Nothing. Yeah.
You know, so you say, "Oh wow, they belong to this wellness world," and
Yeah.
then you get there and you say, "There's 325,000 people, and she's not listed as one
Yeah.
of them," right?
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
um, yeah, so it's just it's frightening, guys. I want you to know that CJ and I do understand. We are in the space, and it is frustrating, even for business owners right now. It does, upset our routines also because I don't know about you. Have you ever just like said hello to someone and they were like, "What do you want?" Or,
Yep. What are you trying to
I'm
sell
not
me?
buying. What?
They're like, what are you trying to sell me? Why are you talking to me? Yeah.
So, true story. And I think I started this conversation with you the other day. I told my VAs to reach out to people and ask them what kind of resources they could use, right? I
Yeah.
didn't tell them anything about telling them who I was or what. Um, I think what I told him to say was that Andra Annette is tired of the online space and she's thinking you are too. So she'd love to send you a resource. Pick a resource, anything that would help you right now, and Andra will send it to you. They said this whole long thing about who I am and what I'm doing, and can you want to get on a calendar? I said, who said anything about a calendar or any of this?
Right.
I said, I would run. They said, Andra, people aren't very nice out here. I said, well, if you send me
Well,
that message, I wouldn't be very nice either. I
right.
said, you don't even know these people. I
Yeah.
said, I didn't tell you to say any of that.
Yeah. You're like, you're word vomiting on them and pummeling them with all this information that they did not ask for and they did not give you permission to give.
Oh my God, what's a really big thing right now, and I get this like 100 times a month, easy, where people that don't know me slide into my inbox and tell me that they have tickets to a master class, and it is so powerful, and they know that I'm gonna love it, and they have two tickets, and they want to give me one.
Yeah.
And we all know they're trying to sell something, right? And I just
Exactly.
tell them, listen, I'm so busy. I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day.
Right.
I don't try to be rude or nasty to anybody, but you do have to protect your own peace out here because there's a lot of people. So yeah, I've just been offline for a couple of days. I really like being in the offline space as
Right.
well as the online space, and really having those conversations. Even and I find even with the patients that I'm working with on a day to day that I'm calmer when I'm not online. You know.
It affects everything. I mean, it's one of those things like, when they tell you the research that you shouldn't go to bed with your phone or the TV on, they give your brain a time to rest. I think that we have to do that from social media too. Just decompress from it and step back and go, okay, I'm building a business there, but that's not my life. Everything doesn't revolve around it. I mean, I see people who are building a business and they're constantly on their phones, and I ask them, I'm like, what's your screen time say right now? They're like, why? I'm like, because you're telling people online that you're building a business in the pockets of your time, and your screen time tells me that you're online 14, 15, 16 hours a day. That's not building a business. That's shortening your lifespan.
Yeah, 100%. So I've been stepping back because I'm working on specific projects that are important to me. It's not about anything else for me right now. It's just things that I want to do. I'm getting older, and as I get older, I have less patience for stupidity. I really do. You know, um, I'm not out here telling people you want what I have, do as I do or any of that nonsense. I say it like it is, and then I go about my merry way. I do. I've been out here long enough. People know what I do. People know what you do. If someone wants to work with me, they know how to reach out, right?
Exactly.
But I do have a life as well, and I do need to work on other things. I set up specific things that I need to do in this 5-year period, and I'm working on the last one now. I'm a year early, so I started adding some things to some things to the end of that, right?
Oh,
Things I promised myself I'd complete within a certain time frame. So this might take me a year to complete those. So we'll see, right? I know you have big dreams, girl. I know you have big dreams. You're gonna be in that house on the beach right beside me,
I am.
right?
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, it's for me, it's it goes back to the why are you doing it? And a lot of times people just give you the surface things, oh, for my husband or for my kids or for my family or to buy a new car. And it goes way deeper than that. I want to build sanctuaries for women to come and be able to just have some downtime. I want to, fund the local food bank and feed 374 families a year. I want to be able to provide houses for veterans and make education for them to re-assimilate into civilian life after being a veteran, and women and children in shelters who don't have the necessary supplies. I want to be able to give them the education to not allow themselves to choose to go back into the same situation they're trying to run from. So there's so many things that I want to do, and I can't do that with pocket
And
change.
it does take time and money. So and partnerships. I think partnerships help, like things like the IAOTP that I'm a part of, that's they're all about having these non-for-profits and stuff. And I don't have one of those yet, and I really do want to start one because I am for Feeding America. I'm always giving to someone else's charity. It'd be nice to have one of my own. Um, but these things will take time and money, so people say it's not about the money, but you do need money to do the things you want to do. So there is that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Um, but I am also building a life that I could be proud of, and I know you are too, because I do want to be able to sit at the beach and just write my books if that's what I want to do. I don't want to feel like I have to get up and go to work or do anything where I could work 2 or 3 hours a day, help some clients, and write a book and be done, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna close this show. We think you've heard enough from us today. But if you're out there and this is becoming unsettling for you, then try to step back a little bit, because what I find, and CJ, I know you'll agree with me 100% on this, is that when you step back from it, when you do come back to it, you have fresh eyes. When I'm scrolling through feeds, because I scroll too, when I'm scrolling through feeds, I feel like sometimes I see the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, right? But if I step back and I go back into that feed, that's when I see that one that stands out, that different thing, and I say, "Oh wow, okay, I could read this." You know what I mean? And make a connection. And maybe this is somebody I do want to talk to, someone I do want in my life as a friend, or someone that I want to partner with to help other people, right? So just step back. Don't let all the stuff that's going on out there deter you. If you're running a business, just show up as yourself all the time. If you're not true to yourself, then nothing else matters, since I've been online, and CJ can verify this because we both come from the same place, a lot of people have been telling us what to do, how to build, and it wasn't until we started building our way that freedom came. Maybe the money didn't come right away, but the freedom certainly did, because I felt it's so much easier to show up as yourself and feel good about what you're doing than to show up as someone else and not sure what you're doing, right? Because when you're trying to be someone else, you're like, something's not right here. What's going on, right? So it's just easier to show up and spread
Yeah.
your love, because there is absolutely somebody out there waiting for what you have, your story, and your help. So if you're out there and you're a marketer or an entrepreneur, keep going. Okay, it's only a yet for you. Have a good day. CJ, any last words?
I just, like you said, show up for yourself. There's so many people telling you how you should build your business, who you should be, how you should talk, all the things. But when you have to, tiptoe around who you are, and you have to try to remember what you said to this person and what you said to that person, when you're just yourself, it makes it so freeing to just show up and just be who you are, and your people will come. So just be yourself and your people will show up.
Good job. That's a wrap. Have a good night, guys.